Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We are live here on Facebook as well as on Zoom for our media. Just want to welcome everyone to a different kind of a press conference here, but excited to be with everybody here today. Just want to start by thanking our local media here in Charleston, who do an amazing job covering our team. They really, their coverage is excellent throughout the season, whether it's during the season or during the off season. You guys are great to work with, and really looking forward to continuing to work with everybody as we move forward into the 2020-21 season. Want to say hi to all of our fans who are watching live on our Facebook stream, on our team's Facebook page. You guys are so passionate about this team, and we really appreciate all that you guys do for us throughout the year. Thank you for all your continued support. As we get going here, I am pleased to be joined on the call by our new head coach, Ryan Blair, our principal owner, Todd Halloran, our team president, Rob Kincannon, and former Stingrays player and coach, Jason Fitzsimmons, who is getting ready to begin his 14th year on the Washington Capitals scouting staff. This week has been really something for our organization. We've had a lot of great news. 7 days ago, we announced the return of our captain, Andrew Chernichin, who is returning for his 8th season with this team. And obviously, it's been well documented by a lot of people, but Andrew is a really important part of this team, and we're lucky to have him with us for another year. Then on Wednesday, we were able to announce a new head coach in Ryan Blair, and we'll hear from him in a few moments. And then yesterday, the news that our affiliation with the Washington Capitals had been renewed for the next 3 seasons through 2022-23. So a lot of positive news coming out, and we're excited to share all that with you today. We're going to start with each of our guests having a statement, and then we'll open it up for questions from the media. So thanks again to everyone who is joining us here today. And to start things off, I'm going to turn it over to our principal owner, Todd Halloran.
Thank you, Jared. On behalf of the ownership, including the Zucker family, I want to express my excitement and full-fledged endorsement of Ryan Blair as the next head coach of the South Carolina Stingrays. Ryan came into this organization not that long ago, but quickly learned the systems of our affiliates. And more importantly, he learned how to ingrain himself into the culture of the Stingrays organization. We're very excited to have him at the helm, and Rob will have more to say about Ryan shortly. Secondly, I want to express my gratitude to the Washington Capitals and the trust that they have shown us in this organization. We strive to do things the right way, and we're really pleased that we're able to get this agreement extended. They're an important part of our family, obviously, and again, we're just very grateful that they show us the confidence they do as we look to develop their prospects and the prospects of our sister affiliate, the Hershey Bears. Finally, to our fans, sponsors, and partners, friends, and members of the Stingray family, I just want to express, my gratitude and your unwavering support for us, this organization, as we all try to get through this very challenging period. I believe that as a nation, as a state, as a community, we will all be together soon, safely, and I'm very much looking forward to that day. And I'm more than hopeful, I'm confident that we will be together again in the North Charleston Coliseum in the very near future. Thank you for joining us today.
I want to now introduce our team president, Rob Kincannon.
Thank you, Jared. First, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to Jared for setting up this introduction of Ryan as our next head coach today. A little bit different than how we've done things in the past, but obviously with the way things are going in our world, this was the best and most fun way to do this. I'd like to also echo some of the words that Todd has said. I'd like to thank our fans, our corporate partners, everyone who supports the South Carolina Stingrays organization. Like you guys, we expected and we're hoping for a different end of our 2019-20 season, but we're optimistic that the 2020-21 season will be here at some point. So we ask that you all continue to support us and be patient during this time as well. And hopefully we can get some hockey back at the North Charleston Coliseum and at the ECHL. Secondly, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Steve Bergen for his 4 years with the team as an assistant for 3 years, and this past season as the head coach, and wish him nothing but the best in his new chapter in his career at Sacred Heart University in Connecticut. Next, I'd like to touch upon our news yesterday, our 3-year affiliation with the Washington Capitals and the Hershey Bears. All first-class organizations. We look forward to working with everyone in Hershey and Washington for the next 3 years. We're fortunate and lucky that we get to have partners like both of those organizations and the people involved there. Next, the reason why we're all here today is to talk about Ryan Blair as our new head coach. Ryan played college hockey from 2007 to 2011 for the Lowell Riverhawks in Lowell, Massachusetts. After his time with Lowell, Ryan played in the ECHL for parts of 3 seasons in Toledo, Cincinnati, Orlando along the way. He then embarked on a coaching career in the Eastern Hockey League in Massachusetts, coaching for the Boston Junior Rangers. He was an assistant coach and a head coach there. In 2017-18, Ryan was actually named the head coach of the year for the Boston Junior Rangers in the Eastern Hockey League. Last summer, Steve Bergen and I talked about candidates for our assistant coaching position, and Ryan's name quickly went to the top of that list. His work ethic, his passion, his attention to details, his professionalism, his integrity, his honesty, all were characteristics that we both liked and that stood out from us from day one. As we embarked on the coach for our next coaching search, 10th coach in Stingrays history, it was clear to Todd and I that the first person that we wanted to make sure that we talked to and looked at was Ryan Blair. We talked to the coach, we talked internally, we reached out to some of the players, and they all endorsed Ryan as potentially the next head coach. After talking to Ryan and looking at some of the other options, it was clear to us that Ryan is and was the best fit to be the next head coach for the South Carolina Stingrays. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next head coach, the 10th coach in Stingrays history, Mr. Ryan Blair.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Appreciate the kind words, and Todd as well. Shaf, thank you very much for setting this up and putting it together. First and foremost, just want to say how excited, humbled, and grateful I am for this opportunity. In talking to Rob and Bergie last year during the summer, in terms of the assistant coaching role, it was very attractive, the pipeline that the Stingrays have in terms of moving their coaches on to the next level. So that was something that was really attractive to me, to take that assistant coaching role. And I didn't think this day would come so quickly. But I'm extremely excited and, again, honored and humbled to be the next head coach. Obviously, taking the assistant coaching job was a major step for me, coming out of junior hockey and doing some hockey operations work at UMass Lowell. It was a big step for me, for my wife and I to move down to Charleston. So just extremely happy that it paid off and quicker than I thought it would. During the interview process to be the assistant coach and the head coach, it's very, very clear that the Stingrays do things the right way. It's a first-class organization, and one that I'm really proud to be a part of, and look forward to continuing the rich tradition that they have. Looking forward to looking ahead to being the head coach here. It's a new era for the Stingrays, and again, I look forward to continuing the culture that has been laid down. A few people that I want to recognize and thank. First, just my family, my wife. It's been a roller coaster. Obviously, this hockey coaching journey is not an easy one. So to have their love and support throughout is unbelievable. I've got 3 brothers that all live in different parts of the U.S. and Canada, and they're all extremely supportive and really excited about this. To Steve Bergen, I wouldn't be here today without you, not only this past season, but your continued support, even though you've moved on from the Stingrays. You taught me what it meant to be a Stingray, and I know that we'll continue our friendship moving forward. To the players, current and the alumni, thanks for your support. It was an awesome year last year and built a lot of good relationships, and looking forward to doing that in the future. And then finally to Rob, Todd, and Jason Fitzsimmons. Again, it's a first-class organization to be a part of, and I look forward to this opportunity. And I'm just extremely grateful that you've given me this opportunity, and looking forward to just working as hard as I can and getting back on the ice soon. So thanks again. I appreciate it, and looking forward to getting back to Charleston soon.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Todd. Thanks, Rob. I want to introduce our next guest, who is Jason Fitzsimmons. And from the Capitals standpoint, obviously someone who knows this team extraordinarily well. Would love to hear, Jason, if you can touch on both of the major news pieces this week of having Coach Blair as the new coach of the Stingrays, and obviously the extension of the affiliation here with the Stingrays and Capitals.
Thanks, Jared. First and foremost, I just want to say congratulations to Ryan and his wife. It's a major day, not only for the Stingray organization, but for their family. I remember it vividly when I had the opportunity to coach the Stingrays, and just how excited we were as a family to take on that new challenge in life. Secondly, from the Capitals organization, we just want to thank the Stingrays for all the support that over the past number of years as an affiliation. It's been a great program to work with. It starts at the top with the ownership group, down to the president and the coaching staff. It's just been a luxury over the years, and we're going to do our best trying to keep the pipeline for players to the Stingrays. You look back over the years and seeing the players develop. It's just been a pleasure to work with the Stingrays. All the coaches that moved on in the past have done an incredible job with their prospects. So we look forward to many years of success here at the Stingrays, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, we are now ready to open it up for some questions from any of our media members that are joining us today. If you would like to ask a question, use the raise hand feature on your Zoom, and I will unmute and we'll get your question. So please state your name, state your media organization, and let me know which one of our panelists here that you want to ask this question to, and we'll make sure that their video is showing. First question is coming from Logan Reaver.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Logan Reaver with WCBD News 2 here. This question's for Ryan. 2 weeks ago, could you imagine yourself being in the spot, just kind of, I guess, the shock factor, of kind of this quick turnaround?
Yeah, it's obviously something that, I would hope would come one day, just being in this organization. But no, it obviously happened really fast. And as Rob mentioned, I'm really excited for Steve moving on. He's leaving on good terms, and he was a great role model for me and a great mentor. So it was a bit of a shock that things happen so quickly. But I'm just excited for the opportunity, and really happy to be still a part of the Stingrays.
Thanks very much, Logan. Want to welcome our next member here to ask a question, Scott Eisberg.
Hey, Ryan, Scott Eisberg from Channel 4 here in Charleston. How do you take over a team during a pandemic? How do you build a team? How do you build a staff? How do you how do you do it during a pandemic? And what is your biggest concern in doing that for the first time, building a team during a pandemic?
Yeah, I don't have too much experience building a team, whether it's pandemic or not. So it's a unique experience for me. Obviously, Bergie's still been a great asset for me, and we talk daily. But I guess with a little bit of uncertainty on when the season will start could pose a few issues for players. But I think as long as I work hard and build those relationships and communicate with players and agents and just be honest with them, everyone's in the same boat. So I don't think it's different for the Stingrays versus any other team.
Next question comes from Andrew Miller. Andrew, you need to unmute your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, Ryan. This is for Ryan. Ryan, just talk a little bit about what the average fan might see differently as far as the product on the ice. I mean, how are your and Bergie's philosophies the same and maybe a little bit different?
Yeah, I think they're very similar. We worked really closely together, and we agreed on a lot of things in terms of details, habits, systems, and those kind of things. So I think a similar style of play to last year in terms of structure and overall philosophy. We like to play fast and play with a lot of pressure. We obviously want to possess the puck as much as possible, but I think it's going to be a really similar brand of hockey, and we look for a lot of the same things in players and look for a lot of the same things out of our teams respectively.
Next question comes from Barry Schickling.
Hi, Barry Schickling from ECHL Week. Congratulations, Ryan. This question is for you. There was some time between the end of your playing days and then coming back to the ECHL as a coach last season. What, if anything, struck you as being significantly different in the league between those two segments of your hockey life?
Yeah, I think the league continues to get better and better. Just like hockey at the American League level and the NHL, there's a ton of skill and there's a ton of speed. So I think the league continues to get better and better and prove that it's a reputable league that can develop players and move players on to the next level. So I'm extremely excited to be in the league again as a coach and not as an assistant, as a head coach. I'm really looking forward to helping build a team and grow a team and help a program move in the right direction.
Next question comes from Kevin Bilodeau.
Hey, this is for Rob. Rob, we talked, right after Bergie left about how important it was to keep this job in the organization, and could just kind of tell us what led you guys to Ryan at this point.
Well, I mean, his work ethic, his attention to details, his passion, just watching him on a daily basis, Kevin, arrive at the rink early and leave late at night. He's someone who's always, watching videos, always trying to help the players develop. And it was clear to me that the success of our organization has always been promoting from within, with people who are familiar with the organization, but also with people that we're familiar with. And it's deserving that Ryan's the head coach. This wasn't just given to him because he spent a year with us. I truly feel like he is going to do a terrific job. Another thing I think you have to take into consideration is the feedback from the players. I'm not on the bench. Todd and I aren't in the locker room. We're not on the bus. We're not on the road with the guys. We don't, and the culture of our organization is important. And all of the guys that I spoke to on the phone fully endorsed Ryan as our next head coach. So after those conversations, it became an easier conversation for Todd and I to have. And, keeping it in the organization, I think is definitely important. And I know Ryan's going to have a lot of success like the guys before him have.
Going to circle back. I think everyone who still has their hand raised would like to ask another question. So we're going to go back to Scott Eisberg.
Hey, my question is for Rob. Rob, I mean, was there any type of interview process, or did it go straight to Ryan and you said, this is my guy?
Well, I think, Scotty, when these things happen, they don't just happen like on Monday and, we know somebody Tuesday. I mean, Todd and I had conversations about, Steve's next move probably a week before that. In the media, I think some rumors and hearsay get out that a coach is leaving on, and then that means other people reach out and text message and email, whether it's me Fitzy or so on and so forth. So I did go over other resumes. I did look at other resumes and other candidates. But again, I think having experience with both promoting from within and promoting outside of the organization, it was clear to me that it was probably the direction that we wanted to go, was to give Ryan that opportunity because of all of the things I talked about before. And, you know, and I think it's really important that, you know, you're comfortable with, and you have a relationship, and you know somebody, and you know what they're about, what they do away from the rink, at home, and things like that. And we've had almost a full year with Ryan, so I couldn't think of anybody else who would be more of a fit and better for the organization than him.
Back to Andrew Miller.
Hey, this is for Todd. Todd, you know, when we talked in June, you were cautiously optimistic that the season was going to start. You thought maybe it would start in December. You know, now we've been through a month. There have been some spikes in the coronavirus. What is kind of the feeling now that you have? Is it similar to what it was, or has it changed at all about the start of the season?
Yeah, I don't think it's changed. I mean, there's no there isn't a definitive date yet. You know, the ECHL works with, you know, it's in 19 states, 2 Canadian provinces. There's a lot of things that have changed just in a matter of a couple of weeks, as you point out. But I do know that each organization is working very closely with their local government and state government, their medical staffs, to understand, you know, a little bit better the safety issues that, you know, we face. And obviously there are a lot of people who are watching very carefully, you know, other leagues that have started play or will begin play in a matter of a couple of weeks here. So, you know, we're enthusiastic about getting the season started. We're hopeful and as I said, confident we will have a season. At this point, we're not prepared to, the league as a whole is not prepared to say definitively when that will be. But I suspect the notion of trying to start on time in the middle of October is probably not realistic at this point.
Thank you.
Back to Barry Schickling.
Hi, this is for Ryan again. Talk a little bit about what types of things you learned and added to your coaching toolbox during your year as the team's assistant coach.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really long list. As I mentioned, Steve was unbelievable to work for, and I'll continue to have a relationship with him for a very long time. I guess it was just a lot of new things in terms of travel, roster management. It's just basically everything is new when you're changing over to the league. And I guess a lot stays the same too in terms of my passion for the game and my work ethic. That stuff all stays the same regardless of league. So it's just finding how you can have passion and how you can use your work ethic to make the team better in different scenarios. So Steve and I talked a lot over video stuff. I talked a lot over details and habits that we want to focus on, and then just the overall day-to-day of how things work with practice and travel and games. And it'd be a really long list of everything I learned, but everything was extremely, extremely positive from this season. And I think that will set me up and serve me well moving forward.
Back to Logan Reaver.
This one's for Ryan again as well. Just from talking with players, it feels like there's such an element of unfinished business after this season. And I was just kind of curious as to, you talk a lot about Steve and just kind of what he's instilled in you. When you guys do get back on the ice, if you feel that you're sort of piggybacking off of what he's already done, or if you're coming in with a clean slate and you know, trying to implement what you want to do, you know, with these guys.
No, I think a lot of it'll be the same kind of mentality. He did an unbelievable job kind of showing me what it means to be a Stingray and the culture that he had in mind for this team. And then it was something that I quickly got on board with. So it'll be something similar to last year, hopefully, in terms of, yeah, there's definitely unfinished business, and we've still got a lot of work to do to continue to build and grow and develop, and that's for the players and for myself.
Last call for any other questions. We have Andrew Miller.
Hey, this one is for Rob. Rob, hey, now that you've gone through several kind of hiring processes, how has your process in hiring a coach changed, or has it changed at all?
Well, I think I've been doing this for almost 11 years now. So I think along the way, you learn a little bit about people and the expectations from within and outside the organization, whether it's fans, ownership. And the biggest thing for me, though, I think with this time around, Andrew, was the players and the fact that we just came off an incredible season. I think the goal of ours is to try to get as many of those guys back for the upcoming season. And in talking to Todd, it was clear to me that we didn't want a whole lot of downtime here, that we could potentially lose a player who would want to come back to the team this year. And again, talking to those players, it was clear to us that it was to move quickly with this and with Ryan, so he could start, calling the players who are currently signed, reach out to some of the other players who were potentially thinking of signing, and then some of those other guys who are on the fence. I think that goes a long way with being able to build a team, is allowing somebody like Ryan to get right to work and directly reach out to those players. So I think over the years, yes, Andrew, I probably learned a lot, but we've had some great coaches over the years who probably have made it a lot easier than it really looks, with Ryan, Spencer, and Kale, and Fitzy, and even, Jared and Fitzy are the one who started this train. So, but personally, I think I've learned a lot over the years.
Thanks, Rob. Don't see any other questions, so I guess we're all good. Want to thank everyone for joining us today once again, whether you were on Facebook. Want to thank the media for joining us once again, and of course everyone who spoke today. It's going to be a little bit of a weird next couple weeks as we start to get ready for next season, but kind of as Todd said, we're really looking forward to another year of hockey whenever that is safe to do so, and we're looking forward to having Ryan Blair as the leader of this team. So thanks to everyone once again for joining us. Stay tuned with us for more updates as we continue here during the off season, and we'll talk to everyone soon. Have a great day.